What's going on, people? Back with a bang. This is the Money Management. Back here to bring you guys my stocks to watch for this upcoming trading week. So first I want to say happy Father's Day to all of you guys out there. Remember that obviously this is a 4-week trading week, not because of Father Day, but because of Juneteenth. So please remember that these kind of weeks you see a lot of funny movement, which I'm going to get into later. But yeah, like I said, just remember it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week, not a 5-day trading week. So also beware of the theta on your contracts. As we know, theta eats away at contracts. But either way, let's jump into this video. So I'm going to get straight into it today. I'm starting off with AMD puts. I see that it's broken below a daily support level, and it's broken below my trend lines that I drew here. This is the lowest that it's been at since around the same time last year, July last year. And I think there's more downside here. Levels I look for, I'd say a $3-4 drop to like $77, $78. Otherwise, if we zoom in, there is also going to be potential for calls. So just beware how you play it. So calls, in fact, calls will probably be above the daily support. So around 84.30, I'd say push above 84.30. Yeah, this level right here. And the calls could be on right below or right at the bottom of my trend line here, and right at the bottom of, before where it reversed last time. But above that, it could be on for calls. So just beware of that. It's not really one of the stocks you want to buy for long term right now, but at the same time, it is a stock I believe in long term, a company I believe in long term. Next up, we're going to go with Amazon, ticker symbol AMZN. The only reason this came to my mind is because I just mentioned stocks to watch for the long term, the stocks to keep in your mind for the long term. So Amazon is one of those that you can buy at current price points. It's a huge company, one of the biggest in the world. Basically, everybody you meet will know this company, and it's got huge long-term potential. But with this one, I'm looking at puts down to $100, simple. Otherwise, a bounce in this daily support zone to continue pushing upwards towards the moving average. So again, this is one of those you kind of got to wait to see how it plays out. It's in a little bit of a strange zone right now, I'd say, because it could break down or it could push up. Whereas before, when it broke below the moving average, it was clear that it was going to drop. When it pushed above the moving averages, it was clear that it was going to push. Now it's below the moving averages, so it looks bearish, but it's also pretty close to this support level. Like I said, first instance, I'm looking at a drop towards 100. Secondly, if it does decide to push and start breaking out of this daily support zone, I'll be looking at calls up to around $109, $110. So that one is definitely on my radar. Also, Apple, I know we've just done 3 which all begin with A in a row, but don't worry, there'll be others which don't begin with A. So Apple, looking for puts down to $127. That is my primary play with this one. I'll keep it simple because I believe below 127, we're on for a crazy drop. I don't actually believe we'll get there, but if it does happen, yes, what I'm saying is if it does happen below this, then a big drop is coming. So right now I'm just looking for about a $4 drop down to this white line you see. The trigger, that's a bit difficult to say right now, to be honest. I'd say maybe below 128.90, so maybe below that, then I would enter puts. That's your confirmation. On the other side though, just check, see this wick how it pushed up into the daily and weekly support. If it does start to do something similar again, just beware of your trades. You might want to just check different time frames to confirm your trade and get a better overview of what's happening. I personally, as I mentioned, I'm going to trade Apple to the downside. That's my aim. But as always, you've got to play what the market gives you. I don't know what it's going to give us this week. We just got to play whatever it does decide to give us. Next up, Tesla, ticker symbol TSLA. Tesla's pretty simple every week. My idea is a push up towards 689. If it breaks that, then towards this 4-hour resistance zone at 700. So Tesla price target to the upside, $700. So that's a $50 move. That can easily happen in one day. So what's the next thing to look out for? Well, a drop below, let me draw a level, around 622 it looks like. A drop below 622 and it could get ugly. Is it 622? Right here. Yeah, around 622. You can move that line slightly low if you want. Yeah, 621.35. Drop below 630, 621.35, and it's time to bleed. How far do we go? If I could give an indication of what I would expect, maybe to the 589, 590 level. Yep, that's about a $30 drop from the 621 level, and a $70-80 drop from where we're at right now. Again, many of these stocks are sitting at a point where it's just like they're in this kind of zone or region or channel consolidation period, maybe you want to call it, where it's like they could start pushing up this week, but they could also just continue to break down this week. I personally think it's going to be one of those weird weeks where, because we've fallen so far in the past couple weeks, it will actually start, we'll see some green and then another breakdown. So it's going to be a hard one to trade. I don't know how I'm going to trade it, but I'm just going to focus on playing what the market gives me. Next up, Boeing, one of the airlines. And the thing with Boeing here is it looks like it's kind of a double bottom on the daily chart. So we could be seeing some green as it breaks above the 9 and 21 day moving average. It hit this daily and weekly support and started uptrending. I do like it for calls, but at the same time, again, that what I just mentioned, being in that channel kind of consolidation period, although this is not really consolidation, but it's just hanging around the moving averages, just in an awkward period that might not give us a clear sense of direction yet. If you look at this, see, it's kind of pushing up. Hopefully it pushes up to breakout, but at the same time, it might just start falling again back into this weekly or daily support zone. My eyes are on Boeing for calls. I'd say $150 calls are what I'd be looking for. And if you want to go closer to the money, then you're probably looking at around $142 price target, so just a $6 gain. Long term, it's a great stock. I mean, in comparison to where it's at right now, buying it at $136, I would not be surprised if you come out here with 20-25% returns by the end of this year, by the beginning of next year. Boeing, American Airlines, United Airlines, Delta, all of them, similar story. Delta for a second. $30 right now. Hanging around the weekly support. Could actually break down below this weekly support zone. Then it'll be on for some crazy puts. That might be one to watch. Yeah, Delta puts might be one to watch. Otherwise, if it pushes up in this zone, I'd say a $32 price target would be good, a $2 gain. That's most likely going to be a day trade then if you do play that. Now I'll have a look at Lucid, ticker symbol LCID. It is always a funny stock. See how Friday it showed great signs of bullish momentum, 7% gain. It could easily fall 6-7% in a day as well. So if it falls all the way to $12 tomorrow, Tuesday, I wouldn't be surprised. But my expectation with this one is a small push up towards the moving average, maybe about $17.27, then a break downwards. If it does break above $17.50 or $18, expect it to push up to around $20 or $21. It's showing signs of holding a support right here. Kind of, again, a little bit of consolidation around this price point. But a break above this daily resistance, $20.61, and it could get busy. Lucid is always a high risk, high reward play, and that means when it pushes, it really pushes. But when it sells off, it can sell off badly. Over the past few months, it has sold off badly, as many other stocks have. But this is not one I would say long term I like. When they can start being a bit more unique, if you guys read about Lucid, when they can start being a bit more unique and not just, looking flashy, actually have good financials, then maybe it's one for the long term. But at this point, this one used to be CCIV, if you guys remember, Churchill Capital. At this point, I wouldn't say, oh yes, Lucid at $16 is a great investment for the long term. It might be cheap, but it can still get cheaper. Remember last year it touched $65, and then since then, look how low it's gone. So the potential for recovery is there, but as I mentioned, when you look into the company a bit more, you'll understand why I'm not saying, oh, this is a great price point to buy it at. All right, a couple more now. I'm going to start with Macy's. Macy's is on for puts. down to the weekly support. So about a $2, almost $3 drop. That's my aim with Macy's. It's very clearly bearish, as are many stocks at this period of time. It's broken below all the moving averages, broken below the daily support. I think Macy's is on for a $2-3 drop, as I just stated, down to the weekly support. I would not be looking at calls with this one. Even if it pushes up, I expect it to get rejected at the 4-hour support zone or at the moving average right here, this purple line. So if it pushes up, that's a short-term lived push up, in my opinion, and I would expect to break down. That push up might just be better entry for puts, but indeed, Macy's puts are on. And now I want to look at the Qs. I'm going to start off with SQQQ. I think SQQQ calls could be on. See how it's just broken above this weekly resistance and it's looking to push up to the 4-hour resistance. So obviously this is triple leverage. You have to be careful with this one. It's going to have to be a day trade, let's be honest. So as the market does sell off, any of the days market does sell off, I'll be looking at a push with this one. It's slightly below the moving average right now, hanging around the weekly resistance. But as the market sells off, yeah, I'll be looking at a $68 price target. So about a $4 gain. On the other hand, you can also trade TQQQ when the market does start pushing. This could be on for calls. Obviously, if you guys have not realized, TQQQ is the inverse of SQQQ. Look at the weekly chart for TQQQ. Markets over the past 2 months, all these weeks, see, what, about 10, 11 weeks there, one green week. The rest have been red. And that's what I'm saying. It's below the weekly support right now. I expect more red, but I think this is a week where the markets could push up first and just kind of con you. So beware of that. I'm missing one. What am I missing? Oh, crypto, of course. The crypto mining companies. Crypto's been selling off over the weekend. Mara, still very clearly bearish. I'm not going to trade this one just yet. I want to see a false push up. Same with Riot. As Bitcoin sold off. See how Bitcoin is. See how low Bitcoin is now. I think it's around 90k. Look, Riot as well sold off, but it has these little green jumps. If I show you guys the daily chart, see it has these little pushes up. So you got to be very careful with these. And the moment crypto starts to push again, these will push again. Let's see, Bitcoin. I think it's around 19k, 19.5k. It might have even dropped since I started making this video. Alright, it's actually pushed up. 20k right now. Briefly went down to 17.5k. Well, we need to check the hourly chart so we can get an idea of when this happened. Remember, with crypto, you can also just trade it off technical analysis as well. Since we broke down below 25k, I've been saying it's going to continue bleeding. So today's the 20th, I believe. Yeah, so Saturday afternoon, it was down there. Well, I was in a game, so I didn't have time to buy. But I still think Bitcoin at these prices is great. You're looking at a 200-300% return in the next year, in my opinion. Obviously not financial advice. I do already own Bitcoin, so I'm just putting out that I think at these prices it's a bargain, but it can still get cheaper, as I've mentioned. Ethereum, I'm guessing, is about 1.2k right now. Oh, it's a 1.1k. Alright, same with Ethereum. In a year, 2 years from now, I would not be surprised to see this at 5k. When crypto does start pushing again, we get that crypto bull run, we could be looking good. Lastly, very lastly, let's just touch on the oil stocks. I did mention this in my last video, the one I uploaded Thursday. Exxonmobil, it's at a critical point again. If it breaks below this moving average, we're looking at puts down to around $83, that weekly resistance zone, but it could also fall into daily support, which I believe will be more likely. Marathon Oil Company, ticker symbol MRO. Don't worry, those gas prices are still high. Broken below the 100-day moving average, probably falling to this daily support zone before it starts to uptrend after a bounce. And of course, Oxy, similar to MRO, looking to either push up from here or break down and fall into the daily support zone. I'm intrigued to see how it goes. Hopefully it starts pushing up again, because when it does run, it can really run. Look at all those green days it had. You can see it even better on the hourly charts. You see some crazy green candles. Look at that one right there. Green candle. One there, one there. it has those periods of time where it does get those crazy pushes. So that is it for today's video, guys. As always, I definitely appreciate if you guys could drop a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new around here, hit that red button below. Also, just drop a comment, let me know your thoughts overall, what your expectations are for the market. As always, make sure you guys share these videos with your friends, get them out to more people, and also check out my socials, which are in the links in the description below. And then lastly but not least, guys, come and check out the Royal Trading Academy. You guys know the deal. All the call outs, breakdowns, charts, analysis, discussions, all of it is in there. Come and get active with us, and check out the stock option starter pack as well. That's 10 videos you guys have access to for life, so please do go and check that one out. But that is it from me, guys. Remember, it's a 4-day trading week, so let's be smart with how we trade, and overall we're going to make a lot of money once again. Thanks a lot for watching today's video, guys. That's it for me. I got one to making, you got one to making. See you guys next time for another video. Peace.